Hey guys, Nikki here from Rego Fabrication. Today we're going to be installing our aluminum ARB compressor mount on the GX470. Let's get started. Alrighty guys, so the first thing you're going to want to do is double check that you received everything you're going to need for the install, which is going to include the aluminum plate, the aluminum leg, and also this relocation leg. It's going to be used to remove a sensor if you have it, you might not, and then we can go ahead and go over this here later on in the video. We're also going to include all of the hardware that you're going to need for this install, but you will need to outsource some tools, which will be listed in the video here shortly. Along with easy mounting for the Wifey air system, we also designed this bracket to be able to mount your switch pros directly to this back piece. That way you can mount your twin air compressor, your switch pro, and your Wifey block mount all up together and just simply drop it into your engine bay so you can get onto the trails faster than ever. You can find these products at regofabrication.com. We're going to go ahead and start by attaching the leg to this plate. What you're going to want to look for is, as you see here, there is an L shape on the front. You want to keep that L shape when you turn it to the back. And so you go ahead and you'll place this mount onto this bracket. And you'll take the provided hardware and go ahead and start placing it from behind. So now that we have our compressor mount bolted up, we're going to go ahead and continue to mount with the Wifey block mount. Now this block mount is going to be used for our Wifey air system. It's totally optional when you are at checkout at Rego Fabrication. You want to make sure that when you're mounting this, that you mount this plate on top, and then we'll talk about how to mount the actual block itself further on in our video. Now we're going to go ahead and proceed with mounting our manifold for our Wifey air system. This manifold is included in our Wifey air system package, along with all of the couplings, fittings, and the aluminum hosing to make sure that you can air up and down your tires in less than 4 minutes. You can find this product on regofabrication.com. So we went ahead and pre-installed these brackets onto our manifold that we are going to mount onto our Wifey block mount. These brackets, you want to make sure that they are mounted underneath the Wifey block mount. That way it secures your manifold. Otherwise your manifold will be able to move and it could get a little tricky when you're out on the trails. So what you want to go ahead and do is flip over this compressor mount, and what you'll notice is that your ARB twin air compressor will have a total of 8 mounting points. You only need to use 4 of those mounting points to be able to make this a stable install. If you have a single ARB air compressor, you only need 3 of those mounting points. And just keep in mind that these are slotted right along this edge to make sure that you can adjust your compressor mount to your engine bay needs. So we previously talked about earlier in the video about this relocation bracket that is included with your GX470 compressor mount. So this bracket will be used if you have sensors in the mounting location for our compressor mount. On the left side of your vehicle, you're gonna have 2 factory bolts that are gonna have a sensor attached to it. What you wanna do is go ahead and remove those factory bolts and that sensor, mount it up to this bracket right here, and then you're gonna go ahead and place it in the location that is threaded right here in your engine bay. As you can see, this is currently in the way of our compressor mount. We're gonna go ahead and just loosen that bolt, turn it, and then tighten it to get it out of our way. So we're gonna go ahead and pre-install our bolts onto the left-hand side of the vehicle. These are gonna be used in factory locations, and when you are installing these, you just wanna hand tighten them until they're about a 1/4 inch exposed, and you wanna make sure that your washer is pulled all the way up to the head of the bolt. Now that we went ahead and tightened up these bolts here on the side, we're gonna go ahead and move into the mounting location for the supporting leg. The first thing that you're gonna wanna do is go ahead and clean out those threads by using some WD-40 like we did here. And then we're gonna go ahead and just use a screwdriver to clean out those threads just so they don't get cross-threaded. If you do have a little bit of rust, we highly recommend using a tap to tap them out, just so we can avoid any bolt stripping in the future. So before we can drop our compressor mount into our engine bay, we need to make sure that we can pre-install the 3 leg bolts under our wheel well. If you have a factory suspension like we do, you're gonna have to drop your struts down in order to access this area. If you don't wanna drop it down, you can go ahead and just bolt them in directly from your engine bay, and you can disregard the nuts that come with it. It'll hold just as strong. If you have aftermarket suspension system, then this will work perfectly for you and you will not run into any issues. You'll just go ahead and bolt them in directly through your wheel well. Now we're gonna go ahead and drop in our compressor. Alrighty guys, so now that we have everything lined up in our engine bay, we're gonna go ahead and install the bolts that are going to hold down your support leg. We went ahead and installed these from the top. We didn't want to have to drop down our factory suspension in order to access the wheel well. It's totally up to you. You're welcome to do either, but just for today's video, we installed them from the top. Okay guys, now that we have our compressor mount fully installed, our compressor is ready to go. As you can see here, this thing is not gonna move whatsoever, no matter what kind of trails that you decide to go on. You can see now that it's ready to go ahead and be wired up for our Wifey air system. You can find this with the Wifey air system, the Switch Pro, and this compressor mount on our website at regofabrication.com. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you have fun on the trails. Okie doke.